I believe we are now live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our NHK Trophy recap with a very special guest, Minerva Fabienne Hase. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. Happy to be here.
Hey, we're very happy to have you. How is your season going so far? Congratulations on France.
Yeah, I think our season is going pretty good so far. We're really happy with the results till now, the improvement, and we hope it will continue like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you had just basically a week in between things here, or two, well, less than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, like we came back on Tuesday last week, so it's like 1.5 weeks preparation. But we're gonna use the time good and gonna be hopefully even more prepared for China.
Yeah, that'll be great.
And we have a couple of people saying hi. Hi, Laura. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello.
Amy says, congrats on your Grand Prix France win. Love your programs this year, especially the short program.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the short program is great. I said last week, I love that you're still like acting with your arms through the lifts. I'm so impressed with that you're not just like, I'm in a lift, I'm holding the position, but that you're like actually expressing through it is really cool.
Yeah, we were trying hard. We worked a lot on that lift to sell it, to make it more special, because I think this year we have a lot of pretty similar lifts, so there's not so much possibility to like keep it up. So we try with arms to make it a little bit more special than maybe other couples do. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things in pairs that definitely sets teams apart is the ability to like perform and act through things, because it's so hard that not that many people are able to do that. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
those
we're
small
still
things.
trying hard. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of room, especially in the free program. We worked a lot on the short now during like the off season because we got more like opinions to work more on that program. So yeah, I think that's more ready now. So now we're concentrating on the free program to get like more emotions like in the short. So yeah, I think there's a lot more room to grow in that program for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be excited to see how it keeps growing for sure. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're getting compliments on your
Yeah.
decor behind you.
I have to say that's like from my boyfriend, so most of the things are belonging to him, but it's nice to have them.
Okay, well, your boyfriend has good music taste then.
So yeah, NHK Trophy. I feel like one of the maybe less chaotic results from the Grand Prix so far. Podiums have been very fun to watch this year, but I feel like NHK sort of not predicted winners, but you could have a safe guess at the podium almost.
For sure.
Except for pairs. I would also say that I
True.
entirely
Yeah.
forgot to do fantasy this week because I was so upset about the American election that I then realized that I had entirely forgotten, and then but then I saw that everyone's short programs were going really well, and I thought, okay, good, I have like something to look forward to this weekend. If it had been a competition where everyone was falling and everything was going terribly, I'm not sure I would have had the strength to watch it. I might have had to go like bury myself in comfort reading or something instead. So I was glad it was a good competition.
Ah, nice picture.
So for the pairs, we had Anastasia Midolkina and Luka Berilava winning gold, Rikumura Ryuchi Kihara for silver, and Ellie Kam and Danny O'Shea for the bronze. Yeah,
I mean, I thought those three gonna be on the podium, to be honest. Like, I think that was a pretty safe thing to say. Yeah, I mean, the order is kind of surprising, even for me. But I mean, the Georgians did an amazing job in the free program. They, I mean, almost skated clean, got like all level fours elements. So I think the score was like deserved, and the Japanese did mistakes, and it was just 1 point from the short program. So it definitely was the right order. But yeah, I was surprised when I woke up Saturday morning and saw the result.
yeah, I was too. I mean, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of improvement from the Georgians from last year, and they seem much more like a senior team, and especially in the free skate, I think that the sport program, just the material still feels a little bit I don't know, it's not my taste, but it's fun to see when they do skate clean like this. It just everything really adds.
Yeah. Like, I mean, what I saw, especially in pair skating this season, like all teams like in the whole world just worked so hard, and I think you can see so much improvement in pair skating, and I was not expecting that, to be honest, but I'm happy that our team again, and it's like getting better and better. So I think it's gonna be an exciting season, like as long as it goes on. So I'm looking forward to like skating against everyone and see how the judges and how the audience like compare each other with. So yeah, I think it's a nice year for us. Like you can feel it's like getting closer to Olympics, so everyone is using the time, using like the last season to try out new things and programs and adding up the levels. So I think it's gonna be great.
It was really cool to see. I feel like even the teams here that were in the bottom sort of half were already really very strong. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that was really seeming to me is not only like the top few that are everybody's stepping up, but like it's those sort of middle of the pack teams are now everyone's doing two triple throws. Everybody's going for like, you know, it's
Yes.
really very impressive. And I like just a couple of thoughts that I had about some of those teams was just that I'm still so happy for Anna and Luke for their continuing to just skate so well here. And then also for the younger Japanese team as well. I thought especially their short program was so good. And I saw them competing at the John Nix Trophy at the beginning of the season, and they were struggling there. It was just they weren't having a good competition, and so being able to see them really skate so well and show how much they've improved was fun to see. Especially, I feel like they haven't had the best skates in front of home crowds in the past, and so I was really happy for them to have that.
Yeah, me too. It's like just the Japanese, like all Japanese skater have just like a nice solid way to perform. I don't know, it's like the speed they have during the whole program. I don't see that in any other like country. It's like just the Japanese skating skills and like
Yeah.
flow is, I don't know, it's like from a different world. It's crazy. I love to watch the Japanese, no matter which discipline or they're amazing.
You can really see through their even like through their step sequence, just like
Yeah.
the base level of skating skills they have is so strong, and then the pairs pieces are starting to catch up, but they're
Yeah.
definitely making big improvements. And I felt sorry for Isabel and Ryan here because I think they're a more talented team than they got to sort of show off with her being injured and at the last minute. But they had just in their side-by-side spins, they had this very cool sort of from catch foot down into like sit behind position. And I thought it was like, it was just like this small thing, but I was like, oh, that's cool. And it's just fun. Like so many people's
It's something
spins
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy when I see, oh, like you've tried something that's a little different and eye-catching to
That's
me.
true. Yeah, I think they will grow. They're still young, so they have time. So I was also happy about the Netherlands. Like we practice from time to time with them, and like just seeing that their hard work pays off is just like, for me personally, of course, super nice. I think they're a super strong couple, which also like improve a lot on components. And I think sometimes I miss that a little bit in the judges score, because I think they deserve maybe a little bit more on components, because I think they're just such a happy couple who are getting also the elements now in the programs, and it's like the overall package is getting better. And sometimes I'm like, come on, give them a little bit more for that. And the Great Britain team, great programs this year, I think. I think they're doing great work, great lines. They improved so much compared to last season. So I am looking forward to where they are going in the next years as well.
Yeah. And with Daria and Michelle, I went on a little rant about this after Skate Canada, but I was really upset at their PCS, especially for their short program. I think that it's such a great program for them, and it really shows some of that side of their personality and their connection, and just so hopefully if they keep skating this well, then it will start to catch up.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And I was sorry, in some ways, I was wondering about sort of the third and fourth places here, because I thought that it's hard, like when Annika and Robert had like not a perfect program, but a pretty good program, and then the two falls that Ellie and Danny had.
I know.
I was like seeing that, and I was like, oh, like I'm not sure I would have had them in that order, even though I think Ellie and Danny have such fantastic like quality through everything that can hold them higher. But yeah.
I think the gap was a little bit too much, like between Annika and the US team. I think like they just get so much more in components and like overall plus points, like the US American team. So it's really hard to keep up for Annika and Robert to like have the same, I don't know, same level. Like not that they're not that good, and not saying that at all. But I can see right now how the judges are like really trying to make a gap. Like it's like, I don't know, top 6 or 7 teams. And then they try to make like a point gap between that. And it's like, I don't like how that's going, that it's like this 2 levels right now, because it's not that big. And I think Annika and Robert did like already compared to their first Grand Prix did so much better, and they constantly improve. They get more consistent, and it's just nice to see also for Germany that we have like 2 really good teams right now in Germany, and like pair skating is like getting a little bit more attention right now. And I'm just happy if I see them skating good and like maybe be happy after, and I see that also their hard work in Italy is paying off finally. And I think during this season it's just gonna get better and better. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I was happy for Annika landing her jumps here, and like it's like sometimes it's those little things. It's like, well, maybe that will give some confidence, or and I really like their choreo sequence at the end of the free skate. It's fun to see. Like we have a lot of teams that are doing very sort of the intense and serious Paris route, which is great. Makes sense that's why teams choose it, but it's sort of fun to see like a different approach to performance too.
For sure. I also like how they work on the lifts now, lifts entry and exit. Like they also said it on Instagram the whole time, like they're trying to create something new and different. And it's nice to see like different beginnings, different endings. Like they really put a lot of work into that. And it's just nice to see different things, because like in pair skating, sometimes it's getting a little bit like the same programs. So it's hard to get like something special, which like sets apart from the other one. So I think that's a good way to go for them, to be like more like to be different to other teams.
Yeah. I was noticing that very few teams are getting much in the way of levels on the back outside death spiral. Is that more challenging than the other death spirals?
It's for sure a more challenging one. Like for me, especially, it's to be honest, like one of the easiest ones. I don't know why, but this is like not normal. Like I see a lot of pairs struggling, and I also struggled in the past with that one. We also put in a lot of work in the summer because we thought that like not many pair teams will be able to do level 4 in this death spiral. It is hard. You can see it. And I don't know, like for me, it's okay, but I know from a lot of pair girls who are saying it's just hard to get the tension on that one. And for the boy, it's like mandatory to have the tension, or he cannot sit in the pivot position. So yeah, it's a hard one because I also think like you start as a pair skating girl, like when you're young, you start with the easiest one, like forward inside, backward inside. So you're practicing that one a lot. And then when you go into senior, it's kind of you're starting to get the backward outside one. So I think that's also kind of because you start with the easy one and then go to the hard one. It's a lot of struggle there. So yeah.
Yeah, and that just has a different feeling to maintaining that in a very different position too. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see if people get better at it over the course of the season, or if this is sort of just where we're going to see people. But
Yeah.
it's yeah, you can tell it's not as comfortable for some people.
No, this is just like you have to do like 100 times each session, each day. It's like just work. It's like not like an element which comes like this. It's like hard work, and sometimes you're like working on the other elements like jumps, throws, twists, which brings more points at the end, and then the death spirals, like the easy elements, kind of get the last 5 minutes in the practice, and yeah, that's like not enough for the death spiral for sure.
Yeah.
We had people agreeing about Annika and Roberts underscore in PCS, which I know Laura and Melissa aren't the only people that think that as well. And also agreeing about the the gap between the top 3 or 4 and then the bottom, because as Anna mentioned, at Skate Canada, the Polish team as well as Daria and Michelle felt like they were underscored in PCS a little bit. And it's, from an outside point of view, it's like you don't feel happy when someone has worked hard on that PCS and they're not getting it.
Yeah, for sure. I think Annika and Robert also hoping for more for sure, especially like I think for the short program right now, it's like the second season they're skating it. They skated it in the shows. They try to add like choreo for the audience. So I hope that maybe during the season it will get better if they also like I don't think it's right, but it's like if you skate more times clean, you will also get more PCS. So it's like how it is. I don't say it's the right way to do, but that's how judges are judging. So I hope when they show more like clean performances that also the second scores maybe getting a little bit higher, because I think it's a program, if they skate clean, it can come for sure closer to 70 than like 67 what they got now, I think.
Yeah, it's sometimes it seems like the judges are focused on sort of maintaining, rankings within within it, and that can be frustrating when you're looking at, a team that has improved a lot, or a team that maybe hasn't improved a lot, but their scores, it's like we see all of that, and it's like you're comparing the team against themselves and not seeing that in the scores. And it's I think that's one of the things that I find the most frustrating as a fan, because I want to see people who are putting in the work on things, I want to see it rewarded in the PCS the same way it would be rewarded with being able to land a harder jump or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, what I also like kind of as a athlete is kind of frustrating sometimes is also to not know how good your points are right now, because like at Japan they judge differently, I think, than like compared to France. I had the feeling in France they were really strict. Like I had the feeling, I don't know if it was like that, but compared to like what we maybe showed in France and what people also got in Japan, it's sometimes for us also then, okay, what can I take from that competition? Like, does that mean now the ranking for us, like where do they rank us now in the competition overall? Because I think also judges look all the pair events and then they're judging us again, and it's like, okay, this pair got 74, 73, 77 there. Is that like better now in France? And it's like sometimes for us to see the competition and not knowing, is that like now the same? Like if we would skate in this competition against them, like what would our standing be? This is like hard for us sometimes to like to really see, okay, are we in the right direction? Are we now ranked more down? Like it's also for us hard sometimes to understand the judges' scores and interpretate them right. I can say it like that.
Well, then you're seeded this year as well, so then you're not going directly, head to head against the
Yes.
other world medalists yet. So it's sort of like that, and that also puts a delay in figuring.
I mean, I totally understand the concept behind it, that they say like, okay, the best teams should like skate best case scenario in the Grand Prix final against each other, but sometimes we are then like getting nervous like during the first competitions, like, okay, how is it? Like, where are we right now? What do we have to improve in? It's like for us also sometimes stress to not skate in the beginning, like to have to wait so long until we skate against like the best pairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can move on to ice dance. So the gold medal went to Madison Chock and Evan Bates, silver medal Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko, and the bronze medal Alison Reed and Salas Antolopoulos. Excuse my pronunciation on that. I feel like ice dance, again, is definitely a discipline that you can look at and think, this is the podium coming in. Like, Maddie and Evan are going to win, and you could guess the rest of the podium, essentially.
Yeah. I found with this competition, I was more interested in sort of where everyone in like places 10 through like 5 were going to rank, then like that was more interesting to me, to be like, oh, I wonder where the Finns are going to go against the French, and some of those questions were maybe more interesting to me watching this, and the Japanese teams against each other, and like some of those little mini battles. Yeah.
I love the mini battle between the two Japanese teams. If you missed it, Izumi interviewed Tana and 1 second.
Saya.
Yes, sorry. I had notes, I promise. For some reason, I flipped a page and I went from here and I missed like 5 pages in between. But we interviewed them about their programs and their season so far. And so I love sort of hearing about a story or a program and then watching it take place on the ice with their free dance, their Romeo and Juliet free dance. I think it's a really beautiful program. I know a lot of people also think that as well. There's just something magical both teams bring, really, in their very different ways. So I'm excited to watch that battle happen, especially as they go forward into the Olympics and then forward to 2030 as well.
Did you have? Yeah. Sorry, Izumi, were you saying?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying to say that I really love I think I'm not alone in saying I really love the free dance from Itana and Messiah. I think that that Romeo and Juliet works so well for them, and it's somehow, it's, even though it's music and a concept that's been done so many times before, it still seems fresh and interesting when they're doing it, and that itself seems really amazing. And I wish that I liked the programs better from the other team, because I think they are have been in the past more interesting to me, but I think that I'm not sure that these programs are doing them like a big favor in the head-to-head. I feel like the free skate was I don't know, it was not my favorite thing, where the music changed and they had this sped up part. I'm not sure what even to call it, but I was a little disappointed in their programs this year.
I think last year they had the I want to say Super Mario rhythm dance, and that I thought was like at the time, like really fun. It was different from a lot of other 80s programs we were seeing. I enjoyed watching them, and with both the Japanese teams, I enjoyed just watching them skate. Like I felt like I was just watching them dance, and I wasn't really looking at the score or anything. I was just enjoying them dance. But Yuka and Yuho's chorus line, just like both of their programs, I think are a really great moment. Their chorus line program reminded me of Yutana and Shingo's chorus line from a few seasons ago. And so when I was watching the free dances, I had to go back and rewatch that because I was like, that was such a good program. But I think they've like back to back just got amazing programs, and I can't wait to see what they're doing for next year now.
Yeah, I love both of their programs. I felt like with all of the different YMCAs that we're getting, they're the team that has made the best usage of that the choreo rhythm sequence, where they're like they fully, like, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna do the like straight at the judges, like, you know, put it on the chorus of the music, like just go for it. They do that. I thought that Lil Brave and Briseau also have a moment like that, and it was just like, that's what that's for, you know, give us the chorus. But they are such incredibly extroverted performers that it works super well for them. I also love the assisted leaps in their in the free dance, where they're using the sort of making it look like ballet leaps, and it was thought that they do that so well, and it's this fun little moment of like really good balletic style within their a program that is otherwise a totally different style, and I thought that was really cool.
I agree. I noticed that, and then Yuho also like matching when Yuka was doing her like lines with her legs, he was matching as well. I thought that was like, it was such a small moment, but it just worked really well. My other notes that I took were both the French teams. Dupiage and Nabe, I really enjoyed their free dance. Their rhythm dance, a lot of rhythm dances this year I'm not sold on. That's the theme, like personally. But their free dance I really enjoyed. I loved their opening lift and their choreo elements, their choreo slide in particular, I thought were really cool. And Lucia and Teo, I feel like they could almost skate to anything. They match their music always really well. And so the lift that they used last year, that was really cool and really on the music, they used again this year and still managed to make it fit for me. I thought it was really enjoyable.
I was a little disappointed in them this year. I think because they're one of my favorite teams, that I was hoping to see them, you know, push in a new direction. And it felt like their free skate felt a little bit similar to me from the last two that they've had, of which I liked the first one the best, the one from 2 years ago. And so I'm a little like, I'm not so sure that I'm seeing the direction that this is going. But I think they're such an appealing team and I really enjoy them. But I like the material from Du Paillage and Nabai better this year. And that like has not always been the case. And it's just funny, you know, comparing the two of them because they train together, they have the same choreographers and everything. And so it's sort of interesting seeing where they each go. But I love the free dance. I think that that I said this last week, but that Benjamin Clementine piece I think is so well composed. Like the choreography is so well composed across each of the elements using some of the same motifs through it. And I really enjoy that a lot. I think that their skating skills maybe are not as strong, but I found their programs more enjoyable this year. But I'm interested to see just where Luisi and Theo's free dance goes, because it seemed to me like there were a lot of parts of it that didn't quite feel like the movements were fully finished, or that it was like, I think it will develop. I think it has a lot of subtlety in it, and hopefully that will develop over the course of the season. It didn't seem quite fully baked to me here.
I think they also started at Masters this year, and then they changed their rhythm dance from what they had at Masters. So, you know, hopefully sort of nationals, European time is when you'll like see it at their best. But of course it's their second outing with both programs together. And I had a note on Caroline and Michael as well. They're very happy that they got through both programs at their last outing, which I think was in France, Nice, Cup of Nice. Michael was very like winded almost at the end of their rhythm dance, and had someone said he fainted. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was never confirmed, but they both looked a lot better and got through the programs, and I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both of their programs as well. I think that there's such an they were really great and different look than seeing them and then seeing Christina and Anthony back to back. I thought was really interesting to me then to see kind of how they're trying to sort of push they're each trying to push in sort of different directions with the kinds of lines that they do and the kinds of holds that they have. And so I really enjoyed them, and I feel like I want Caroline and Michael back in this, you know, in this mix. They're like not in the same ranking right now, but I feel like I want them to keep trying to push up into that category, because I think they bring something that's really different. They had some really fun moments through the choreography and the rhythm dance that they almost had like a sort of foxtrot hold through the cross rolls that I thought was really fun and different than what other teams were doing. And I love that they end with the final pose of the free dance with Michael draped over Caroline's knee. It's sort of like a reverse of how a lot of teams' final poses are, and that was fun too. Annie, do you have thoughts on ice dance? Sorry, we're just talking away here.
No, like ice dance, I'm not like I don't have so much knowledge. Like I love watching it. It's like my favorite discipline beside pair skating to watch, because I just like love how they always go so deep into the music and interpret it just amazing. I mean, I think it was like Jenny's and Benny's first outing now of the season. They had a couple of injuries, so I was really happy that they kind of could show already like two good programs. I mean, I think they still have a lot to improve on, but I'm just happy that they got through both programs without big mistakes, and already could show what they're planning this season. So I'm looking forward to how they're developing now the programs during this season. And I'm just like also a fan of Allison and Saul. Like I don't know, they have just this coolness on the ice. I don't know how to express this better, but like they're just, I don't know, they're on the ice and it's just different from other teams. It's not that usual like love couple thing. Like they just do everything in a different way, and I like it. I like it. It's like just yes, something new, something refreshing, and yeah, I like them a lot as well. And what I love as well in Madison and Even is that they're paying so much attention to like every detail. Like I heard that there's like a whole idea behind the costumes in the free skate, and I think it's just, I don't know, I admire how much really like they put into everything, like every movement, every costume, hair, makeup. It's like for me, it's just when I look at them, it's like a perfect picture. I don't know how to say it, but and it's like I think I love their skating and how they always push their limits each season. It's always like I'm always waiting for them to start the season to see the new programs. So I was happy. I don't know. I love the rhythm dance. I think I like it now a little bit better when they changed the music a little bit. It's a little bit more, I don't know, less music pieces, and I like it. I like it a lot because I think now they can express each time, like how is it not time, like each music
Yeah,
genre better.
yeah, I agree. I felt like it had a little less of, I think, of the sound effect, like of the
Yeah,
music changing, which also helped me feel like it was a little less chaotic.
yeah,
And yeah, I think that was smart use of feedback from their first Grand Prix to hear.
yeah. That's all my thoughts from my stance.
I love Maddie and Evan's free dance this year, and I have not always been the biggest fan of them, just like not from, anything, but just I've often liked other teams more head to head. I am very excited for sort of the matchup between them and Piper and Paul this year, because I feel
Yeah.
I love the free dances from both of them. And so I'm like that makes me really excited, because I feel like often I'm like there's sort of one team or another that I'm like, oh, but that's the one I love because I don't want to see that program. And like, as you can see, I'm like very motivated. I'm like, oh, I like that program. And so therefore I
Yeah.
wanted them to do well. And that is, I felt like there's so much just fluidity through every piece of that free dance. I was gonna say they never stop, even though they do stop.
Yeah.
Like it always feels like there's something in that keep with the music that keeps going throughout it. So and I loved how her costume, her bronze gloves, like
Yes.
highlight all of emotions too. Also loves Allison and Elias. I know I didn't say anything about them, but I was glad for them to get the medal here. And I don't usually watch much of the gala, but I did happen to see their performance, and I thought it was really interesting to see them skating to something that was a more like lyrical, like love song kind of thing, to see like what their take on doing a program like that was. And I thought it was really cool. And it was sort of like, sometimes it's fun like to see people do something that's not the like niche that they choose for competitive programs. And I actually really enjoyed their gala as well.
That's true.
Just run through some comments that we've got, which Lorraine says, no ice dance chaos this week, it's all back to normal. Laura says, Phantom is very good vehicle for Jenny and Ben, in their opinion. Melissa loving Christina's yellow Carmen dress. We didn't talk about them, but really awesome to see another medal for Christina and Anthony, which I was just looking at. It's their first Grand Prix medal since the 18-19 season, which feels wild. They got one in the 2020 Skate America, but that was just a domestic Skate America. So yeah, they're technically third Grand Prix medal, but first one in a really long time. So really, hopefully that can give them like a nice boost of confidence at least.
I think I said this before, but they have my favorite rhythm dance, I think, so far. I feel like they have the rhythm dance that most, to me, fits the way that, like, when I heard the ice dance committee talking about like what they meant about social dance, I feel like Christine and Anthony really have it, because they're performing outward, but they're really like, you get this idea that they might have just like met each other at a, like, out listening to music and are dancing together, and like that, even though it's obviously fully choreographed and everything, like I feel like that sort of into it fits a bit of what the theme was as well. And like they're one of the few teams that kind of give me that, like, they're performing to each other and not just sort of outwardly on the stage.
I just wanted to highlight Johnny's comment. I didn't have Alison decapitating Soul as on my bingo card this season, on ice to be specific. I think we'll move on to the women's event now.
Yeah, so in first place we have Kaori Sakamoto, second Monet Chiba, third Yuna Aoki. So a Japan sweep of the podium, which I think a few people would have, seen that coming, and really strong performances from them all. So, yeah.
Japanese women continuing to dominate the Grand Prix here. Really, it's really cool though. What this brings us up to 5 or 6 different women who won medals. I've lost count.
Yeah, I was thinking nationals will be a bloodbath this year, which is exciting.
Yeah. No, and it was fun to see these, like, all 3 of them were so excited for each other, and just, yeah, I love that. And I was so happy for Yuna, because she's so amazing. And then she had a kind of rough time at Skate America, and
Yeah, we've got a lot of love for Yuna in the comments.
anyway, I think I dropped for a second. Am I back? Can you hear me?
You're a bit frozen. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I think that's on my end. I think it's probably because
mine went at the same time.
Okay, well, I think I still have my VPN set to Brazil so that I could watch the ISU stream. So that's probably giving me some struggles. Anyway, I love Yuna, and I think her short program especially is one of the best programs that I've seen in such a long time. She skates the tango so well. I feel like we're all in awe of her. And that isn't just like, but the thing is that then, like, Monet was amazing, and Kaori was amazing. So it's like, I think the podium is totally reasonable, the order that it's in, but it's just like, it's amazing to have so many favorites. I love Monet's short program. It's very funny that we have like multiple disco programs in the women's event this year, as well as all of the ice dance, but just like we're just all in the disco mode.
I love when that happens, and you have like loads of single skaters doing the rhythm dance. Like there was a few 80s programs last season, and there's been tango programs in the tango year for ice dance. I always find it so amusing. Like I'm sure someone's getting inspiration from it.
I was sitting in a coffee shop and they were playing like ABBA's greatest hits this morning, and I was like, it's following me everywhere. Also, the amount of Spiegel and Spiegel that's being used this year is also making me laugh. it's funny to see. Actually, there's a lot of Shoma program music being reused this year, and it's sort of funny to see that, like, oh, everyone had inspiration.
Laura also saying it's so insane that Yuna wanted to retire last season, which, yeah, and it's amazing that she's had the success this season, so well deserved. So that's really nice to see.
Yeah,
Johnny also mentioning that Kaori really got to grips with the free skate. I think definitely after the previous Grand Prix, a lot of people were a bit not 100% on it. I think this performance specifically really sort of, she showed her best in this performance. And I think with Kaori's free skates in particular, they always need a little bit of time to come into their full performance. So yeah, glad she could have that at home.
And once she started having the like, she hit the choreo sequence, even though she still had 2 jumps to go, she started smiling and started like really emoting with her face, and it, like, I was like, okay, I love this program now. It made me think, like, that's all that I want from her, is like just a little bit, like, even when she's in the beginning more focused section, just like give us a little bit more facial expression, and I think the program will all sort of start clicking together a bit more. But it's also nice that it was like she was smiling because she was also genuinely happy and not just like performing to the music. So it also had that more authenticity to it.
Some love for Lara Naki-Goodman, which I know Anna, you will absolutely love as well.
Yeah, I will always a shout out for Lara Naki, and then her programs are great this year, and I want to give her a big shout out for landing combos in both of her programs, and that's often been, she's another one of those skaters that having the second triple toe is not always the easiest thing, and she had a great triple in her short program and in the free skate. So I feel like if she can keep that up, then she's really going to start to be able to hold on that spot. I'm interested what's going on with Serena Hughes, though, because I think she just pulled out of Tallinn Trophy as well, and so if she's still injured, what that situation does. But yeah, I feel like if Lara can keep skating like this, she can hopefully do a good job of getting that spot for Italy, and that's what I that's what I want. I really want, like, of all of the people that I'm sort of biased to, I'm just like, I really want her to get to go back to go to the home Olympics and get to like go having qualified it for herself. And so that's one of the things that I'm already stressed about, but she's doing a great job here. I was also really happy to see that Brady was able to put together the much stronger program here and pretty good free skate, and keep building on her comeback as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was something from her hair or her costume. It was definitely something that fell off after one of her elements. But yeah, she seemed a little off, but she's one of the skaters that I think really, really got hurt by the strict tech collar. And that's, I feel like talking about this event in the men's and women's, you have to talk about the fact that the tech panel was really strict for almost, but not everyone, which is always the when you start getting in trouble. But that for a lot of people, that was tough. And I think Lindsay's often someone who is like on the cusp of whether she's going to have rotation issues. So that was a big problem for her here.
I think it also presented a little battle of between the US women. I feel like so far this season there's been an ongoing like battle with their women. There's been so many that have come out really strong, and Alyssa and Brady within like both at 190, so close to each other. I think the next competitions or going internationals is going to be super interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with good potential, but also a lot of people who are, I was going to say, who are inconsistent historically, though. I am very proud, I was to say, like, even though not every one of her jumps was fully around, Alyssa has now skated like 4 clean programs on her comeback, which is amazing. So hopefully she can, like, whatever like mental, physical preparation is letting her do that, I hope she can keep it up, because she just keeps looking better each time that she's out.
Yeah.
Other thoughts on the women?
You said everything I thought as well, so.
Oh
no.
Well, I'm gonna make you go first for the men then, so that
no,
I won't say all the things for you.
It's good. I'm actually a little bit tired from practice, so I love like listening. And if I add something, I will for sure add something.
It was, yeah. I was just seeing the comment from Laura. It was definitely a tough one. I felt like I always enjoy seeing Yalem skate, even when it's not even when it doesn't go well. She's just such a beautiful skater to watch. And so I'm glad, selfishly, to still have seen her be out there on the Grand Prix this year. And I hope that she can, now that she's through that, keep working her way back toward being, fully healthy. It does seem like it's been kind of a tough season for the Korean women. Like, nobody has quite, we have a bunch of things going on there, but even with partial exception of Chaeyoung, like, everyone is not quite at the level of consistency that they might have been in the past. And so it seems like maybe a silver lining of that is that for any of the skaters who are sort of struggling right now, if they are, like, whoever is kind of able to get themselves back for the second half of the season still has a real opportunity to make a comeback. So I'm hoping that we'll see that for Yalem in the future.
I think that just talk about this. Japan on D3 seems like Kaori, Wakaba, Monet at the moment, unless something crazy happens. You never know.
I mean, that if I had to bet, yes, probably, but I'm not counting out Hannah, and I'm not counting. I was thinking, and then I started thinking, oh, but what about Reno? But what about Yuna? And like, so that it's like, okay, actually, there's at least 7 who could be on that world team, like, realistically, much less wildcard people. And they're all great. So I'm like, it's definitely going to be a nationals. It always is anxious with nationals, but I feel like especially this year, there's so many strong people.
It's going to be an interesting, a very exciting competition to watch there.
Yeah. So now we have Wakaba and Kaori in for the final. Is anybody else? Nobody else is guaranteed yet, right?
I'm not the person for this.
No,
it's okay.
I don't
It's not
think
really
so.
worth.
I think most of the good contenders are like just have their second one now in the next 2 weeks. So I think it's just those 2 who are like really safe right now. Because I think everyone else did like one maybe good one and then one like more bad one. That's the same in pair skating. It's like right now I'm like, who's gonna qualify for finals? Like, that's gonna be interesting the next two weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with some people who with some like strange ordinals in qualifying, which well, it'll be interesting. With the men too, I was really thinking
Mhm.
about after this week, it's really
Everything
kind of
is
all over
open.
What a perfect segue into talking about the men's event.
Yeah, so we had Yuma Kageyama for the gold, Daniel Grassel for silver, and Tetsuya Tsuboi for the bronze. We came very close to having an all Japanese sweep here too. We did after the short program, but I was really feeling for Kao, who had the most emotional roller coaster of a competition here, to be doing. He looked so happy after the short program and so completely devastated after the free skate. But I think that if he's still dealing with an injury, hopefully he can now take some time to rest. I know when he was at Skate America, he was saying that it was like just sort of that like going on adrenaline and like it's not in good shape, but just gonna go out and compete anyway. And it's like sometimes that works and sometimes it really doesn't. And so I definitely was definitely feeling for him here. But I thought his short program was one of the best performances I've seen him give of anything. And he really seemed like in that, like, oh yeah, he is right up there with Yuma competing for one of the top spots. I mean, like Yuma's still at that nose ahead, but like he's really putting himself forward as the next in the Japanese men. And so I don't feel like the free skate takes anything away from that potential that he has.
And I was so happy to wake up and see that he broke 100 finally. Just Shun next, but finally.
It was wild. Yeah. I also really liked to thinking through this men's event. I was really happy to see Matteo Rizzo back and skating really well here. I mean, the quad loop was better in the free skate than it was in the short, even though it was still counted under. But to be where he was, I just keep thinking about seeing him at Europeans last year and the emotions of that free skate, and he skated so well, but we knew that he was injured and we knew that it was not like a guarantee that he was going to be able to come back from that injury and all of that. So then to see that he really is back and with his full abilities, it made me really happy. I interviewed him over the summer and and just sort of he loves that like connecting with the crowd, so it was fun to see like that amped up moment of having such a good skate here. So I was happy for him.
And there should be a link in the description if you haven't watched that interview and like to go watch it. But it reminds me, Chris commentating this event, he also commentated Europeans, but the song obviously Fix You and his commentary afterwards, which was like, and that's what they're going to do to him afterwards, to fix him with the surgery. But I know that just makes me laugh every time. But I also hope him sort of taking that time and decision to to go forward with the surgery and like have that rest and recovery time might inspire someone else, Cal, to sort of rest your injury as well, because it's just, you don't like watching someone compete when they're injured. There's obviously so many reasons why someone might do it, but what's important is taking that time, especially before an Olympics, to really just recover and be at your best for an important year.
Yeah, I was impressed with how Matteo was being very methodical about not rushing back over the summer and taking the time that he needed to go sort of through each of the steps to build back up. And it was good. Also, we should talk about Andrew Torgashev, who skated so well here. That free skate was like was one of those moments. I was looking at the judges afterwards and trying to, because I was kind of curious to see, I wanted to know who the tech caller was, but so I was looking at that, and then I noticed that the US judge had put him in third. Like, it was the only thing with like a little bit of bias, and I was like, but also I could see it. It was like, it was that moment where it's like, especially if you're kind of in the back of your mind rooting for that skater and they have a performance like that, then yeah, that does get you that extra little bump. And then the other skater that I feel like we need to talk about here is Daniel Grassel, who's also back after time away. That I would still like somebody to explain whatever happened with all of those missed doping tests. We will never know because the Italian system keeps everything sealed for privacy. And so it's presumably there was a process, but we don't know what actually needs to happen. But anyway, seeing him back here, it was, I had heard before, because I didn't watch the men's free skate live, I had already seen so many people complaining about his free skate that then when I went to watch it, I was like, oh, no, this is actually not that bad. Like, he is a very musical skater. He doesn't have the best lines necessarily for a ballet program, but when the music is going through each of those classical pieces, you can tell that he really does like feel and is moving to the music. And I was like, oh, I'm not minding this. This is actually really nice. And then the music changed to the Billy Elliot musical, and I was like, what? I had a moment of like, what am I watching? This is very strange. So that part, I'm not sure I followed him on that narrative journey, but it was definitely, it definitely feels like if you're going to do a program that is about being a ballet dancer, that I would love to see him, especially in the part where it's sort of, it's narrating, like stretch and the lines. Like, I'm like, push that part, stretch a little bit more and do it. But I did feel like with that program, I could see like his own enjoyment of it, and that he was really skating to it. And so I think that they're, contrary to the opinions of Twitter, I felt like I needed to be a little bit contrary coming back and watching. I was like, oh, I actually kind of enjoyed parts of that program, and we'll see. The calls on the jumps, I'm not sure though about. That seemed like he, in a competition where everyone else was getting the harshest possible calls, I think some of his jumps should have at least gotten a cue, but we'll see. I do enjoy Chris as a commentator because you think that he's just being positive about everyone, and then every once in a while he says something snarky about the judging, and he was definitely pointing out some of those inconsistencies here, that when he's like, I don't think that was the right call on whether something was around. I appreciate that.
I love the like incredibly British phrases he uses. I just find them so amusing.
Yeah.
Amy also pointing out, in terms of injury, the men have a really hopeful example in Yuma to look to. He's just built back slowly and he's crushing it. 300 points.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it seemed really good. I was really happy to see him and to see these programs with like a better camera and everything, because I saw them at Lombardia stream, I think, but I felt like I was better able to appreciate the nuances and how he's improved at really projecting to the audience, seeing it filmed in the full arena like this. Also, good job for Tetsuya. He's one of those skaters who's been he's always been good, but a little lost in the deep field, and it was really wonderful to see him be able to have those performances and to be, I think, a very well-deserved place on the podium.
I was just looking at Jason Brown scores. I didn't need to use some Jason scores, but I think he's obviously there's a lot of men right now in the US coming in with that technical side, and so I think it's going to be interesting how it plays out at nationals, because obviously Jason can perform and we know that, and he's an amazing performer, but to see, I guess, which side will come out stronger, or even just see if he needs that time to build up to nationals, because obviously I think it's last season he didn't do the Grand Prix, and so he's figuring out that, but at the same time coming back into a full competitive season.
I'm a little stressed for his he's been so consistent, and I mean that's partly why he's been able to score so well with yes, like amazing components, well deserved, but also because you can watch his performances and just have the complete faith that like every triple jump he's going to land, they're going to be of like the best possible quality for those triples, and like having that confidence with him was also, I think, in the last few seasons part of why he's been able to to be the competitor that he has been. And so then if that starts to go a little bit, then it's harder for him to keep up in the other spaces. I liked his free skate more seeing it this time than I had. I think it was SK Canada. And I still think that the Spiegel im Spiegel is too hard. It's too much the same for a whole free skate. I still wish that that was either a short program or combined with another piece of music. But that judgment aside, I felt like I was able to appreciate more some of the nuances in the choreography, seeing this performed a second time with some more time and run-throughs for him.
And then Johnny mentioning Tomoki's free skate and his reaction was heartwarming. And Amy also mentioning Tomoki as well.
Any other NHK thoughts? Minerva, Izumi, quiet and just letting Sarah and I talk.
No. I have to say I also like to listen a lot. It's nice to hear like a different side of you guys. It's just amazing. Now, what I wanted to add to Jason as well is that still I love how he always like reacts after programs. Like he's not pissed or in a bad mood. He just, you can see how much he loves skating and like still enjoying skating for audience and like for himself. And for me, this is like always when I watch him, and also like even if he struggles, like it's for me always a good motivation to like keep doing the same, like remember why I'm doing this. Like skating is like should be fun, and we love skating, and we should show it. And even if we make mistakes, it's like not the end of the world. It's just like a competition that was not so good in the elements, but like I just love how he's not giving up during the program. He just skates it from beginning to end and enjoys every moment in it. And that's what I really love about him as like a person, because it's just like you can see the joy from him, and it's just amazing for us skaters to have someone like him in the field, like in figure skating. It's just a lot of motivation to enjoy more competing and not just be like, okay, done, next one.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really nice to see his, like, he's still making the point of acknowledging the crowd. He's still doing, like, yeah, he seems very present in each competition, and it's really great to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. And like overall, for us, like NHK, like for us athletes, NHK Trophy is like the best Grand Prix, I think, from the whole season. Like we're waiting every year to see the list coming out, and you like the first one you're always looking is, oh, did I get NHK Trophy? Because like it's just like this whole competition, like we've been there last year, it was our first season, and coming to Japan, like just the crowd and like all the organization, like all the people are just so kind and like welcoming. And it was for us as a as a first season, it was, I think, the first time we skated the clean shot was at NHK Trophy, and we just had like a minor mistake in the free, so it was like the first two really good performances for us. It's just so nice how people appreciate that and give you the love on the ice. So for us, like NHK it's just the most amazing event. Like all the competitions in Japan it's just fun to go there. It's just lovely. Like the food, like just everything about this competition is great. Like it's just, so I also like really enjoy watching this competition. It's just overall a super nice event to watch, I think.
Yeah, it does have that. I think I also was realizing that it's not only with, yes, all of the things that you said, but then even watching it on TV, the fact that they're in a stadium it's full, but it's also so brightly lit. It just gives you this very different feeling of you're not sort of skating in a dark arena.
Yes.
It's like it has this lightness to everything. And I know it's watching competitions in Japan, it just always feels so different from that reason too.
Yeah, like also the colors they use, like they just use so much like pink and purple. It's just like bright colors, like everything. When you go into the warm-up area or like dressing rooms, it's just like you feel like joy going in there. It's like it's paid attention to the detail, and you feel it as an athlete as well. Like it gives energy if everything is like bright and colorful. So like that's
my goal
crazy.
next season, especially, well, if I get accreditation for the Olympics, that will be the goal. But otherwise, I really want to go to a competition in Japan because I have not done that yet, and that would be it would be so much fun to be able to do that. So that's my goal as a journalist and an audience member, is to make that happen.
So worth it. I think it's so worth it.
I also love seeing Satoko, the Japanese Skating Federation board member, handing out the medals, and also the her performance in the gala also is so beautiful. So I'm always very happy to. I love that they keep bringing like her and KG and Rika Hango back as like different, all of these different roles, and other federations will do that kind of thing too with retired skaters, but it's fun to be able to see people in that space.
Just highlighted a couple of comments for Minerva. So someone said, Hassan Volodin have the best lines and the best elements. Now their programs are better than last year. If they could add, I'm ignoring the brackets. If they could add the throw flip, then they'd be on top of any podium. So.
No, I feel honored. I mean that's one of the goals, of course, but it's nice to see people acknowledging the hard work we put in, for sure. We're working on the throw flip right now. We don't have so much time, but it's on a good way, and I think for next season it's gonna be for sure one of the elements we try to change, hopefully with the throw style. I mean, throw style is just like one of my lovely elements, but it's just for the points. We have to always look on the points as well, especially now if the field is getting closer and closer. So this is for sure one thing we will work on a lot.
And then one of the other ones is that Fabienne is studying hard to pass the language test. Really good to see you both in Milan.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of German lessons each week. I think like 3 to 4 online sessions, and he's getting better day by day. Like we started in May, so it's not that long time, but you can see progress. We start to also talk more German and practice now. Our German coach tries to just speak German with him, so he's making improvement. In interviews, sometimes he's saying some sentences in German already. So I hope that it will it will be better till next May, and then we will start the tests, and hopefully he will pass it.
Yeah. Oh, that's like a whole extra level of stress on top of everything else, though. So I definitely feel that. And I also just want to say that any skater doing interviews in non-native language is impressive to me, because I only speak English, and I always feel like everyone is having to come off the ice and then have to think in a second or third or fourth language sometimes.
No, I have the highest respect for Nikita for doing that. I mean, he came 2022 in July for the first tryout and didn't speak any English. So for him, he's learning like 2 new languages right now. So it's just like, for me, it's crazy how fast he's learning and how fast he can, I mean, it's almost like 1.5 year now for him speaking English. So I have hope, seeing that he can learn so fast one language, that maybe he can learn fast German. But like, my really deepest respect for that. I mean, he's speaking Russian, and it's not nearly the same language as German and English. So it's a whole new thing for him. So we're gonna help him as much as we can.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to jump in because Sarah's eye is twitching.
Oh no.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Like, surprise, hello. We started talking about German and now you're here.
Yes. I'm in Berlin right now.
Oh, nice.
I feel like we should also point out
Have you
that,
highlighted
yes.
the comments yet? No.
No, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, Amy's saying, I feel the need to say last year's Stay Short program is one of my super faves now. And I think this one is a comment echoing that. I rewatched last season's short program all the time.
Yeah, it also have a special place in my heart. It's my kind of style. I love to skate I did it many of times with Nolan, with my past partner. So it's just the style I'm comfortable with. But I cannot skate it every year. Like, we have to try new things. So that's why we chose a more strong short prong this season, to get like out of my comfort zone. But yeah, this slow love musics will always have a special place in my heart. And we have a show program now in this style, and it's just, yeah, I just love it.
Nice.
Laura wants to know, do you have something in mind for next season's programs? It's a big season. No,
Yeah.
the preseason, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're starting thinking now with our choreographers. Like we said, we are trying to get the music decisions by like December or January. But this is like, for now, we don't have anything specific. I think the free program, we had like the last year without any voice. Bless you. And this season, the fourth season, so our choreographers would like to like make a mix out of that, so have like a little bit more strong, but also like soft, so like a in-between thing, if that makes sense. But no specific style or music in mind yet. We start for searching now.
Is that early for you to start in January?
Yes, like I think last season we decided end of February, beginning of March for the short program. And the free program we actually decided in April, end of May, April, beginning of May. We had like a really hard time with deciding for a free program this year. because we wanted to have something familiar or like in kind of the way like last season, but like a step up. So we had like a hard time on the free skate. The short then was pretty easy. Like I think we had 2 or 3 musics and then we were like, okay, that one it is. But yeah, that's why we want to start earlier, to have the decision earlier so we can prepare better.
Very excited. I think we can't wait to hear that.
Will you have a bunch of shows this winter?
Yeah, we had now already after Grand Prix France, the Suzuki Ice Gala in Milano. Then we have 2 German shows from Daniel Weiss in Ingolstadt and Oberstdorf in December. So before Christmas and before New Year. And then we got the Art on Ice again. So we're doing the full show this year, the whole 2 weeks, and we're really excited for that. That was always like one of the biggest dreams of mine, to skate in this show, and got the invitation last year was like really a big dream coming true. So I was so happy when we got invited again. And we have another little show in January in Switzerland, which we did last year, Music on Ice. Yeah. So this is our show plan. I think it's like 4 shows in front of Europeans and then the Art on Ice. So it's not too much, but we choose wisely from the times as well. So it's not interrupting our practices.
Art on Ice sounds like, from what I've heard from people, it sounds so fun, and like very, because it's over that longer period, it also seems like it gives you a little bit of time to like actually have fun with it as well, and not just be like, there, back.
Yes, no, it's nice. Like last year we did the last 2 stations, so it was like 4 shows, and already that 1 week was amazing. Like just the show itself, so huge and like so amazing, like with the live music and everything. It's just, I think, one of the biggest shows in the world, especially like in the Europe part. So
And I just checked the lineup for 2025. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's good.
It's Paloma, Faith, and Birdie, and the other people I don't know, but
yes. I was so excited when I heard that Birdie is coming, because like the free program I skated with Nolan at the Olympics 2022 was Birdie. So like I hope that we get a song from her. That would be just amazing. We don't know yet anything, but I'm so excited for this show. And it's also nice, perfect timing between Europeans and Worlds. It's like good to skate in front of audience without the stress of making the elements. So it's just, for us, perfect preparing for the Worlds, I think.
This is getting me excited, because I just realized putting 2 and 2 together, because I'm planning to go to Switzerland after Europeans, and I was like, wait, I should try to Art on Ice, because I've never done that before. So this is just occurring.
I just saw the music lineup and I was like, I want to go.
Right. We should all make a
little meetup.
Meetup there, yeah. I would love
also,
that.
Johnny Bowie suggested music already.
A dream within a dream. I will write it down. It's always good to keep it going. Like really, it's a hard decision.
At one point, we started putting together a Spotify playlist for like skaters to listen to. Maybe you should bring that back as inspiration.
Would be good. Pre-Olympic. It's always fun when somebody chooses something that like nobody's used before, or that is like, and then we see it tons after that usually. I always enjoy when it's like we get to see, it takes that kind of courage, I guess, to skate to something that hasn't been done that before, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. So I don't know. I think especially also for the choreographers, it's so hard to, I don't know, like do something new. Like I have always the feeling the Olympic season is like the season you want to have like a safe option. So I think that's also the reason why we wanted to try the fall season this year. So it's like not a thing we're doing in the Olympic season, just to see if it fits us or not, what people are thinking, and like getting some feedback. And then I think we have more options to do maybe something people already know, or if they like more the new stuff. So I think it's a good option for us to see what people want.
I never mind the things like Four Seasons or people skating to Tosca, or it's like as long as the cut of the music isn't terrible, like there's it's good music for a reason. I don't mind when it gets we see it used again and again. It's when everyone chooses the same like sort of like not super popular but mid-level popular pop song as everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things from this category.
I can understand.
It's fine if someone really likes the song, that's great. But it's like when it goes in that there's some things that are like the skating war horses, and I'm like, how did this happen?
Yeah, James is commenting on the Japan single skaters who find modern piano concertos, which are incredible, but he doesn't know where they get them from. Like Monet's Free this year.
Monet's Free is definitely music I've heard others use before as well, but it is fun. Like I feel, and then some of those composers are really excited when people use their music. Like I interviewed Jennifer Thomas for the piece I did on music rights, and it was cool to see like how skaters using her music has helped her find some new audiences. And we saw that with was another composer this year who was noticing that as well. So anyway, it's fun to see that there's a lot of modern classical music out there.
I'm dying at all of the suggestions in the comments. Everybody is suggesting a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you can go through the comments later and just have a listen.
And then I will write down everything.
Open kind of work here.
Oh my goodness.
I also love this. I swear Laurie just went out and bought a Christopher Tin CD and cooked like 40 good programs.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good music, so we'll take it. No.
No.
We talk about Finlandia now that we've had an hour and a half here.
Yes, but also if you have more program suggestions, just put it in the comments. Keep them coming. Yes, Finlandia Trophy. Maybe we should talk about that now. Who wants to start? Right. Giving predictions, top 3 in every category.
Okay, I have to pull this up if we're gonna really do predictions.
Yeah, then
I need to have
same.
it in front of me. All right.
To see the lineup.
Yeah, because I feel like that we're now getting into the point where the final's going to start really getting decided, and all right, sorry, skating score is helping me out. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm looking. So pairs, we've got. Okay, so we've got Deanna and Max. That's they've got a pretty easy go of it. We've got Maria and Alexei, the Hungarian team, and Rebecca and Filippo. I think looking at this, that's who I would have as my top 3. I think
same.
There are other, yeah. Emily and Spencer are capable of being up at that level, but I think they're not. We'll see. I mean, we'll have to see what having had more weeks of practice means for their ability to have, strong free skates at this point. But I also, just looking at, the teams here, I really hope that we can see a good skate from Kellyanne and Lucas, because I think they're much better than their performances in Canada showed, and so it would be fun for them to. When I saw them at the beginning of September, I was impressed by how much stronger they looked. Like their skating was really fast. They looked really confident, and then it seemed like we weren't really able to see that on the Grand Prix. So I'm hoping that they get to show it here. And then the dance, we've got Piper and Fall. Lila and Lewis.
I think they have the 1 and 2 secured, barring any ISIS slippy moments.
And then, so you've got the Toshlers, you've got Yulia and Matthias, and you've got Amelia and Buddy, and I would say are probably in that next group, but
I think Finland is normally quite kind to Yulia and Matthias, so I wouldn't mind them getting bronze because I really enjoyed their programs this year. But I think 3rd to maybe 6th is going to be very close.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Yulia and Matthias. I really love their tango free skate. Speaking of music choices and how things go in waves, the number, like somebody should do the statistics about the number of tango programs this year, because I feel like it's been a massive spike across all of the disciplines. For the women, we have so Hana, Mai, and Reno for the Japanese. And so this will be the question for Reno and Hana. This is their opportunity to potentially try to secure a spot. Isabel Levito also, if she's there. And
no, I think
did she
Isabel's
withdraw?
out.
Isabel's out. Oh,
yeah.
Skating Scores has not updated their list.
No, I just went to Wikipedia to double check that.
Hey, no.
No, we love them.
We are so dependent on them for.
I was just kidding.
For all this information, and no. Yeah, so we're. Oh no, I knew that because we've got Lara Naki is there instead, and I already knew that, and I forgot. But it's not updated for the.
And us and Jan is in as well because Luna withdrew.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no. This will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see with the always sort of with the 3 Finnish women that we've got some people with potential if they're able to. Who will kind of come out on top in that space as well. And then we didn't really mention Nina Petrokina so much during the our conversation about the competition here, but I actually thought she looked pretty good in the short program, and so I'm hoping that she'll be able to make that Japan-Finland back-to-back situation work out okay. I would love to see her back in the mix.
And speaking of back-to-back, Yuma and Daniel, I always I don't know how people manage back-to-backs because even Torgashev from France to Japan on a day's notice.
I mean, at that point, though, maybe it helps that you don't have much in the way of can't have too much in the way of expectations. It's sort of the YOLO, especially if you're just assigned at the last minute like that.
I love that Laura is saying men is a bloodbath. Jesus. Can you even predict a top 3?
Yeah, this is messy, and also this is where lots of people who are trying to make the final, lots of people who are who in another year would have been trying to make the final, but now are really low down. I mean, Soda, Yuma, Daniel, Kevin, they're all in the mix. I think June 1 could be in the mix. It's like okay, this is all over the place. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
I'm excited to see my favorite Finnish men's skaters. I really enjoy both Walter and Makar's skating, and so I love that they get to have their like host pick Grand Prix that they might not get to do otherwise, but I really enjoy both of them, and so I'm always I'm rooting for them to skate well here, and it's always interesting sort of seeing which of the two of them will be able to hopefully make the minimums and get to into the bigger competitions. So
I think we just talked about this, right?
yes, she is there. It's Nella, Jana Jyrkinen, and Olivia Lisko for the three. So it'll be interesting. Anyway, it'll be a good. This will be a good mix, and then we'll get to go into China, and we'll get to see our finals, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you there, Minerva. And yeah, the Grand Prix goes by so fast. I feel like the fact that we've already done 4 weeks of it is wild.
I feel like it's constantly going. It's just competition, fantasy skating competition, live stream.
Yeah. It's a little chaotic, but it's good.
Yeah. And then it's over so fast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good luck and viel Glück.
Dankeschön. Thank you.
We gotta bring some German into this conversation. And I think we are moving on to fantasy.
Fantasy, yes.
But I do want to wait for the good lucks to come in.
No, thank you. I'm gonna go to bed now.
Yes. Thank you so much for
early
joining
morning.
us.
Thank you for inviting me. It was so much fun.
It was so
nice
interesting to have you
evening.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is I would just to say for skaters, this is a secret. If you tell me that you if you tell me that you watch the live streams, there's a good chance that I will then be like, so you want to come on one?
Oh, right. She mentioned that you weren't so happy about some of her programs.
I know, this is why I was laughing, because I told her that I liked the gala program a lot last year, and that and she was like, I know that you didn't like my my competitive programs because I heard you, and so that was my moment of now I'm always very self-conscious about as I'm criticizing people's programs, but it's not that I'm criticizing them. I just have
and they're getting a lot of love. They're getting so much love.
Yes.
And we can all have opinions. It's okay. Yeah. Should we start fantasy? Yeah. So these are my top picks for names this week. Kenshin's eyebrows. Love that. What is Diana? Duolinguist week. And what more do the judges want? Because that's always a mood. Love your names. Please keep the funny names coming. I love reading them. And without further ado, NHK Trophy men. There were a couple of surprises in the ranking, maybe. I don't know. But a lot of people got the full score. Congratulations to those.
I think it was helped by the fact that we ended up with Daniel in the first group, and so then people that could have been more chaotic
I was thinking that. I mentioned to Sarah, like, only 4 people picked Daniel, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun, but then he ended up in the first group, so it wasn't as chaotic as I was hoping it would be. So then NHK Trophy, just how many are those? 7 women got it right, or 7 people got women right. That's how. But even funnier, I think, one person had pairs. Yep.
Wow.
Just one.
All right. Well, Axel Rose, good job
Yeah.
somehow predicting that.
I feel like sometimes it's the people who know the least who are just like guessing who are the luckiest. Oh, you're just a fan and or you're just good at predicting. Yeah, congratulations. And then I think ice dance were a bit more. I don't know how predicted it was this time. I mean, yeah, pretty. I'm impressed there's even one who got pairs right. I was impressed as well.
Have we had
Also,
one when
Russell,
no
I
one
agree
has
about
won it?
missing. Oh, go ahead.
So,
Sorry, have we had one when no one has won a discipline before?
many times, and I'm surprised at how well everybody's doing this time. Like we still have in the overall scores, we still have people who have the same score, which rarely happen this far into the competition, into the game.
Wow.
That's fun.
I'm reading.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree about missing Emmy Peltonen, and thank you for the information, Bibi.
So yeah, Bibi is saying Emmy most likely won't be at nationals. She withdrew 2 of the compulsory qualifying competitions now. No one knows what's going on with her. So good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Many positive thoughts to her. I hope everything is all right. And this is the overall score. Nobody got the full this time. I was very impressed with Pirouette last week. And I love how you guys actually listen to this and then contact us on Twitter. I mean, X, formerly Twitter, because I'm like always so happy when I see the people behind the names. But yeah, happy,
Men are
congratulations.
menning.
Hugo. And now let's get to the overall scores. This is overall men. I think it changed quite a bit, to be honest. I'm seeing some new names up here. And women, I think all of us are like, I'm not playing, but all of you guys are not doing so well. I don't know. But I feel like usually last time
I was doing really badly and then so badly that I forgot to, because of the time difference with NHK and also the election, I totally forgot to put in picks at all this week.
Next week. It's always next week. But I feel like usually like one of us or like 2 of us are in like the top 10 at one point. This time, nope.
Yeah, and it's normally you.
No, I haven't played in like 2 or 3 years now.
Lois did really well last year, I remember.
Yeah, I remember Lois
She got
doing
like
well.
top 3 or something. Yeah, pairs overall still many people who have the same score. This is very rare. This did not happen the last 4 years, I think.
Also, the 2 people with Juna Bauer in there as their names next to each other is hilarious. the two of you need to be friends is really
Yeah.
And then Tessa Virtue versus the Toronto City Council is still sitting at 1. Still love that name.
Yeah. All right, this one has stayed a little bit more the same. I recognize these names from last week.
And again, still a lot of people having the same score. It will be interesting if there are going to be any changes towards the end. And the overall score, we are now at 12,702 possible points. And I think this changed a bit. I think Mai Mihawa might have been there last week. The White Ship Disaster might have been there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And people can always, if you were like me and forgot to do one or haven't been playing, you can always join us to start playing next week, and be in the one for the week, even if you're not in for the overall.
No, I think it's fun to play every week, even if you miss one. But if you don't miss one, you have a very high chance of being in the top 100 for sure. So keep playing. Good luck. And as always, the results are going up tomorrow. Some people have been impatient. Don't be mean. There have been some mean DMs. We are doing the best that we can. And they will be up soon, tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, the new pics are going to be up. So good luck. And I think that's it. Yes. Thank you so much for joining. Please support us on Patreon. You can join us for as little as €1 pound or something per month. And you can join the Discord. We talk a lot on there about all of the competitions. And then we meet here and talk more about more competitions. Also, subscribe to all of our social media. Like this video. Please comment everything you want nicely. And also subscribe to this channel. And I think that's it.
And I'm excited about our plans for Art on Ice. So.
And also, please, guys, hope everybody is like not doing too bad after last week.
Keep
thinking about everyone.
With hating everybody.
Yeah. Keeping everybody in our thoughts. Not everybody. But yeah. I'm just going to leave a lot of people out here. Like 72 million. Not those. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. And
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.